You ever meet that one coworker who thinks every day's April Fool's Day? The kind who believes funny and annoying are the same thing? Yeah, that's Eddie. A trained engineer with too much energy, too little maturity, and a prank for every occasion. But one day, he messed with the wrong man, a quiet coworker named Martin. And Martin? Oh! He had the patience of a saint and the creativity of a devil. This is a story of how one bad joke turned into the most awkward, divine revenge imaginable. If you've ever worked with someone who just couldn't take a hint, someone who thought being the funny guy meant being everyone's headache, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready, because this revenge is pure, slow burn satisfaction. Our story takes place in Seattle, back in the late 90s. Eddie and Martin were both locomotive engineers, men who literally kept the city running. Trains, timetables, long hours, the kind of job that makes you either calm or crazy. Eddie was firmly in the crazy category, always pulling stunts. Fake spider in lunchboxes, air horns under seats, fart machines in control booths. He even once mooned a train platform full of commuters, still wearing his engineer's cap like it was a crown. And Martin? The complete opposite. Polished, soft-spoken, always punctual, tie perfectly knotted, a man who believed in order, routine, and decency in and out of the cabin. Where Eddie thrived on chaos, Martin was structure. So naturally, Eddie made Martin his favorite target. A prank here, a crude joke there, always pushing to see if he could make Martin crack. But Martin never rose to it, just a calm smile and a quiet. Now, Eddie, some of us still have work to do. And that calmness, it drove Eddie nuts. One day, during a post-shift chat in the locker room, Martin mentioned something casual. How his wife, Clara, would always take his work bag when he got home. She'd unpack it for him while he washed up. Lunchbox, gloves, the works. Just a small family routine. To Eddie, that was an invitation. He thought it'd be hilarious to slip something spicy into the mix. So the next morning, before their route began, he quietly unzipped Martin's backpack and slid in 2 glossy adult magazines. He grinned the entire ride. "This'll be gold," he muttered. He imagined Clara's face, Martin's embarrassment, the chaos at home. For a man who loved to stir the pot, it was perfect, or so he thought, because Martin didn't say a word. Not that day, not that week, not ever. Eddie waited, and waited. Wasn't he supposed to storm in and yell? Tell everyone? Get mad? Nothing. Martin still greeted him the same way each morning. "Good morning, Eddie. Ready to roll?" That silence started to itch. Weeks passed, and then Martin called him one Friday evening. His tone, warm, polite, almost cheerful. "Eddie, we're having a small get-together at my house this weekend. Some of the guys will be there. You should come. Bring some beer." Finally, Eddie thought, this is it. He's finally going to mention the prank. Maybe laugh it off. So Saturday rolls around. Eddie shows up at Martin's cozy suburban house, 6-pack in hand, wearing his usual smirk. Clara greets him with a sweet smile. Martin shakes his hand, says, come in, everyone's already inside." Eddie steps into the living room and freezes. It's not a party. It's a congregation. Dozens of people, all seated, hymn books open, candles flickering. At the front, a man in robes holding a Bible. Eddie blinks. What's happening?" Martin, smiling that polite smile, replies, "Oh, it's our weekly church fellowship. You said you'd join us, remember?" Before Eddie can protest, Martin ushers him to the front row. For the next 2 hours, Eddie, the loud, irreverent prankster, sits through hymns, sermons, and prayers. He tries not to laugh, cough, or make eye contact. His 6-pack of beer rests awkwardly by his feet, gleaming under the soft church light like a guilty secret. He claps when others clap, sings when they sing, badly, every man, echoes like a divine reminder. You started this. When it's finally over, Martin walks him to the door, all smiles. "So glad you could make it, Eddie. I hope you'll join us again." Eddie stammers something about being real busy next week. Martin nods. "Of course." "Oh, and thanks for bringing the beer. I'll make sure it goes to good use." Still, not a single word about the magazines. Come Monday, Eddie wasn't his usual self. No pranks, no jokes, just quiet, reflective. And when Martin passed him in the hallway, he just gave a respectful nod. That was it. The war was over. The legend of that revenge still floats around the rail yard to this day. Because sometimes, the best payback doesn't humiliate. It educates. You know, there's a fine line between funny and foolish. And Eddie? He crossed it, right into a sermon. But Martin's revenge? Elegant. Harmless. Unforgettable. He didn't yell, didn't scold, didn't stoop. He just let the prankster sit in his own discomfort for 2 holy hours. And that's divine justice. If that story gave you secondhand embarrassment, or maybe a good laugh, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of poetic karma and clever revenge. And tell us in the comments, what's the most creative nonviolent revenge you've ever seen? Because sometimes karma doesn't need anger, just a little patience and a really awkward church service.